If you are here right now, I want you to understand something that will change the way you see every setback you have ever faced. I am Napoleon Hill, and over 20 years, I studied more than 500 of the most successful individuals this world has ever known. Men like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and I discovered something that every single one of them shared. Something that separated them from everyone who gave up too early. I documented this discovery in my book, Think and Grow Rich. And today, I am going to share with you the one principle that, when truly understood, makes failure impossible. I called it persistence. But this is not the persistence most people think they know. Let me read you something I wrote word for word in that book. I said, before success comes in any man's life, he is sure to meet with much temporary defeat and perhaps some failure. When defeat overtakes a man, the easiest and most logical thing to do is to quit. That is exactly what the majority of men do. Did you hear that? Temporary defeat. Most people experience defeat and believe it is permanent. They believe it is a message from the universe telling them to stop. But I studied the lives of more than 500 of the wealthiest and most accomplished individuals in history, and here is what they told me. I wrote, more than 500 of the most successful men this country has ever known told the author their greatest success came just one step beyond the point at which defeat had overtaken them. One step beyond defeat. Not 10 steps, not 100, one. Think about Thomas Edison for a moment. When he was working to invent the electric light bulb, he failed over 10,000 times. 10,000 times. Most people would have stopped after the first 100 or the first 1,000. But Edison understood something most people never learn. Failure is not defeat. It is feedback. He famously said that he had not failed 10,000 times. He had simply discovered 10,000 ways that did not work. That is the mindset of persistence. Now let me tell you something even more powerful. In my research, I found that those who cultivated the habit of persistence seemed to enjoy insurance against failure. I wrote this in my book. I said, those who have cultivated the habit of persistence seem to enjoy insurance against failure. No matter how many times they are defeated, they finally arrive up toward the top of the ladder. Insurance against failure. Not because they never experienced defeat, but because they refused to accept it as final. Here's what I need you to understand. Persistence is not about forcing yourself to keep going when you feel like quitting. That is willpower, and willpower alone will exhaust you. Persistence is a state of mind. It is the result of knowing with absolute certainty that what you desire is already yours. You are simply moving through the steps required to claim it. In Think and Grow Rich, I gave 4 steps to develop the habit of persistence. Let me share them with you now. First, a definite purpose backed by a burning desire for its fulfillment. Second, a definite plan expressed in continuous action. Third, a mind closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences. And fourth, a friendly alliance with one or more persons who will encourage you to follow through. These 4 steps, not complicated, but most people never apply them. I also wrote something that I want you to carry with you every single day. I said, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Read that again in your mind. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. This is not philosophy. This is fact. Every setback you have faced was preparing you for something you could not have achieved without it. Now I want to speak to you directly. Where in your life have you been allowing temporary defeat to look like permanent failure? Where have you been one step away from breakthrough, but you stopped because it felt too hard? I studied 500 of the most successful people in history, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, the only difference between those who succeeded and those who did not was this: one group quit, the other did not. That is all. So, here's what I want you to do. Stop treating setbacks as signs to quit. Start treating them as signs that you are close. Because if life is testing you, it means you are worth testing. And if you pass the test, the reward will be beyond anything you can imagine right now. I wrote in my book, "A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits." That is the truth. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be. And if you persist, you will win. Tomorrow we continue. I will be here.